Hi, my name is Mrs. Tempest, and today we're going to talk about physical and chemical change. So, our learning target is I can understand and remember what I read in a book. I can identify a physical or chemical change using visuals. Physical change. So, here are a bunch of examples of some physical changes we're going to talk about in a little bit more detail. Changing states of matter or from solid to liquid is a physical change. So here's water in the solid, liquid, and gas forms. Since it's water in all of these, it's going to be a physical change. Water as a solid is ice. When ice melts, it turns into liquid water. The water stays water. This is a physical change. Changing states of matter, or from solid to liquid, remember, is a physical change. So think about Olaf in the movie Frozen. So he is solid water as a snowman. But what happens in the summer? He's gonna melt to a liquid, but he's still water. When liquid water boils, it turns into gas. The water stays water. This is a physical change. So I like to think of when I'm making macaroni and cheese and I'm boiling water to get the noodles nice and soft. In the pot, you have that water that's like water that we drink, but it's super hot. And then it turns into this steam or this water vapor. But all of those little tiny water particles are still water. Breaking something is a physical change. Glass can break, but it stays glass. Breaking glass is a physical change. So whether it be in this state where it is in a shape of a glass or all of these little pieces, all of those pieces and this whole piece is going to be made of glass. It's stained glass. Changing shapes is a physical change. So crumpling paper is a physical change. Paper stays the same. It doesn't change. So it's going to be paper in all of those examples, whether it be laying flat or if it's crumpled up into a ball in your hand, it's still going to be paper. Dissolving sugar in water is a physical change. Sugar stays the same, it just dissolves in water. It's a physical change. So sugar is really sweet. If you took a spoonful of sugar, it's going to be really sweet. And when you dissolve sugar in water, it is still sweet. That tells you that the sugar is still in there. Chemical change. So here are some examples of chemical changes we'll talk about. So when iron rusts, it changes color. It is not iron anymore. Iron changed. It's a chemical change. So all this orange stuff now, that's not going to be iron anymore. That's going to actually be a different chemical. So it's not iron, it means it's a chemical change. When something burns, it changes. Wood was burned. It's not wood anymore. This is a chemical change. So I like to think about when I'm roasting marshmallows over a campfire, the wood starts off like wood, and then at the end of the night, it's all a pile of ash. So it's no longer wood anymore. It's not going to burn anymore. That is a chemical change. When we cook food, it changes. Eggs are different after cooking. It's a chemical change. So in this state, we have that runny yolk. It's got that like clearish, yellowish color, but after cooking, it turns into this white color, right? So we see a color change and it's going to taste a lot different, a lot yummier after it's cooked. So eggs, since they are no longer going to be that same substance that's inside of there, it's going to be this new substance, that is going to be a chemical change. bread molding is a chemical change. I am pretty sure that the bread over here doesn't taste like the bread over here. So the bread has changed. It's moldy now. This is a chemical change. Mixing baking soda and vinegar is a chemical change. Bubbling means there is a chemical change. So this is different than when you boil water and you see bubbles, okay? That's turning into more water in a different state of matter, or form of matter. This is when I'm mixing two different things together and then I see bubbling. So that's showing me that a chemical change is happening. So just a refresher, going back, some signs for chemical change: if we see smoking or bubbling or baking or molding, rusting, cooking, burning, all of these are going to be evidence that we have a chemical change occurring.